You know, people always say conspiracy, conspiracy. Well, you know what? It's not a conspiracy if it's true. And I've been trying to tell you that since the day I got on these airways. Guys, peel the onion back. Look for the truth. Don't stop. There's 3 things that you cannot hide: the sun, the moon, and the truth. There are truths hidden right now that one day will be brought to light. Not soon enough for me. My next newsmaker is truly that. He's sold, I don't know, zillions of books, guys, on 153 topics. He has shed more light into the darkness of the world than perhaps any other reporter known to man. You know, most reporters don't touch stuff like this. 9/11, Sandy Hook, New World Order. No, man. They go through that safe zone. They play the football game between the 40-yard lines. Once in a while, you've got a game changer out there to put their head down in a rabbit hole and never brought it back out. Please welcome to the show, Jim Marrs. How you doing today, Jim?
Well, howdy. It's great to be with you.
It's fantastic having you, sir. I mean, I was excited when they told me you were coming on the show. I could ask you a million questions, but we're here to talk about your new book, all right? And population control, how corporate owners are killing us.
Yeah,
wow.
This is a really important one here because this gets beyond politics. It gets beyond philosophies. I mean, we're talking about self-defense here. There are people out there who are in control of these multinational corporations, and their basic belief is there's just too many people in the world, and they are eugenicists, and they want you dead, okay? And they're working hard at it by giving you bad food, bad air, bad water, bad vaccines, okay? So you better start paying attention.
Jim, I heard Bill Gates in a speech saying that, you know, the population of the Earth's going to go up to 9 billion, but, you know, if we have the right programs and the right vaccines, we can probably bring that down to 6 million.
That's true. And a lot of people think, boy, what a great philanthropist. They don't realize that he's actually talking about getting rid of people. See, here's the whole problem. You know, these people who own these giant multinational corporations, and I'm not talking about the officers, presidents, vice presidents. They're just good, capable administrators.
Right.
It's the people who control them, okay? And they believe there's just too many people in the world. They would like to see, as is codified on the Georgia Guidestones, they want to hold the population of the world to 500 million people. Well, okay, that sounds pretty good, except wait a minute, there's 7.5 billion of us right now, so the question becomes not only what are they going to do with the other 7 billion of us, but who's to decide what happens to those 7 billion?
Oh, my goodness. You know, Jim, they do such a great job at hiding everything right in plain sight. I mean, I just can't believe that they're getting away with all these things time after time with, you got 5 corporations owning 90% of what Americans watch and hear. You know, it's slanted.
That's right. That's right. And so they're constantly, you turn on the radio, turn on the TV, there are constantly ads, you know, get this new car, get this, get this hair cream, get this, you know, and you'll get a date. Everything will be wonderful.
Well, Jim, people are more worried about Kim Kardashian's butt than they are Fukushima leaking radioactive waste into our Pacific Ocean.
Which is killing the Pacific, by the way. You know, it's, and with more and more of that radiation now reaching the West Coast, what's the U.S. government done? Well, they've closed down their air quality stations on the West Coast. We don't want to tell anybody about that. Don't want to upset anyone.
No. Why tell the truth when lies work so well?
That's true. That's true.
Well, you know, I mean, and when they jumped on this Trans-Pacific Partnership, Jim, I mean, you could just see the writing on the wall. I mean, you almost, you got to feel that if you're not in 7th grade, you could figure this stuff out. I mean, they are selling out the sovereignty of America, and that just goes right into your population control. Because now they can control the drugs even more. Now they can keep the patents even longer. Now they can deal with Malaysia that has a tier 1 human trafficking rights level.
Right.
You know, I mean, and so what they're doing is I heard this term, and I'm going to just borrow it. It's a race to the bottom. It's a race to the bottom.
And by the way, did you notice that as they slip through this fast tracking for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, That was at the same time that everybody was all upset about the Confederate battle flag, which wasn't even the flag of the Confederacy. I mean, I don't even get it. So what?
Well, if the 1% got the 99% fighting within themselves on flags, on whatever, healthcare, whatever.
Right.
I don't want healthcare. But do you have healthcare now? No. Okay. All right.
Oh, it's pretty insane.
So no,
it really is.
with an economic decline, Jim, also comes poor food. People are eating at the dollar menus.
That's right.
And there's no food in this stuff.
But here's a ray of sunshine. I don't know if you've been noticing, but McDonald's has been losing customers.
700 stores just closed. One by me.
Yeah, and that's because more and more people are wising up, and they decide that their health means more than a cheap burger.
On this show, we expose these guys for the third world bullies that they are. Going in and buying up land and growing cheap beef and food and whatnot. And so,
that's all part of it. It's all part of it, and the problem is it's so insidious because, again, for most people who are trying to just get through the day, get their job done, take care of their families, they haven't got the time or the inclination to actually study these things out, so they watch TV. And the TV gives them this totally distorted view of our society and of our life.
It sounds like you took a page from my book, because I say that all the time, Jim. Where could you get enlightened? Radio, this show, yeah, absolutely. We're not censored. Nobody's telling us what to do. I know, we deal with publicity all the time. I mean, the news that you see at 6 o'clock, Houston News, is just whatever the public relations people was able to sell the producers and the anchors. That's all.
Right.
It's a puppy dog story. It's a flood story. Whatever they were able to sell. Put a pitch together and sell it. It has absolutely, positively nothing to do with news, let alone the truth.
That's exactly right, and I know that because I was in the mainstream journalism for 50 years.
How did you bust out of that, Jim? I mean, how did this flow for you? I'd like to know.
Well, first off, I've always been curious, and I've never, in fact, going through journalism school back in the late 50s and early 60s.
Where'd you go, UT?
I went to North Texas University, University of North Texas.
Joe Green. Joe Green.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, at that point, and maybe even today, their journalism department was probably second only to Missouri. And they had a really good one. And I was taught to, hey, look behind the official pronouncements, look behind the press releases, try to find out the truth, try to find out what's really going on, and tell your readers about that. And, of course, fool that I was.
You actually listened to him, Jim.
I bought into that.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You stuck your head down that rabbit hole. Forget it. How many books you have out? I mean, altogether through the years?
About 10.
10 books. Mercy.
And so anyway, that was it. See, I never left journalism, but journalism left me.
Right.
And so I decided I can get information out by writing books, and I've just been very fortunate in that all of my books have been well received. And basically I'm not any smarter than anybody else, but I do address these issues that you don't find much anywhere else.
Again, they're hiding it in plain sight, Jim. I mean, they're
exactly
right there in front of you. All you got to do is put A, B, and C together.
That's right.
Now the book Population Control: How Corporate Owners Are Killing Us. Okay, what are some of the things you cover in the book that we could use in our lives?
Well, let me tell you two real big hoaxes and fallacies that are behind a lot of the problem. One is the basic one, which is that these people at the very top, these owners, they really do believe that the basic problem in the world today is overpopulation. And that leads to, crime and congestion and lack of resources.
All the ills of society.
All the ills can be traced to that. And yet, that's not really true.
No, it's not.
And here's why. Right now, today in Hong Kong, picture Hong Kong with all those high-rise buildings on those islands, the average living space is 1,700 square feet. Whoa!
Wow!
I mean, that's a lot of room. That's a big apartment.
Pretty big.
And so, based on 1,700 square feet, the entire population of the world, 7.5 billion of us, could live comfortably enough just in the state of Texas. Now, don't come here.
No,
Okay, we don't
no,
want
if you're listening out
everybody
of state, no.
But the point is that, in other words, everyone in the world could live in Texas and then nobody else in the rest of the world. And if you really wanted to spread out, then everybody could probably have an acre to themselves in Australia, okay? So it's really not an overpopulation problem. It is a population concentration problem.
Well, it's a perception problem. They want you to perceive the things that aren't, like the artificial drought in California. They didn't build a new dam in the last 40 years. How the heck they expect to have water?
You know, what kills me is, I've been there. Here's two things about the drought in California. Number one, just this past summer I was in Palm Springs, and I went to a Palm Springs golf course, and it was just beautiful, and they got all the sprinklers going.
Hey, water that baby.
And the fairways are green, the greens were green, and then I found out that was only one of 125 golf courses just in Palm Springs, and that's in the desert.
In the middle of the desert. I mean, if anybody's ever been through Palm Springs, I mean, there's nothing for miles but sand and dirt. And then down south, there's the Salton Sea. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's drying up.
Yeah.
And now all those chemicals that they've been pumping over there is going to blow the wind up in Palm Springs and ruin these guys' winter. That's for sure.
Now, number one, why would you want to build 125 golf courses in the desert and then wonder why you don't have any water?
Well, this is the United States of America, Jim, and ours is not the reason why. Ours is but to build or die.
Okay, but I could see, I can see a solution, which I don't understand why they're not doing this. I mean, they got the whole West Coast there. Half their state faces the Pacific Ocean. Why not build desalination plants? And they say, oh, well, we can't do that because it requires too much energy. Well, wait a minute. Why don't you build them on the coast and let the tides...
Let the waves make the energy.
Tidal power. If you don't have tides coming in, you're going to have a real problem anyway.
Well, you hit on water. I mean, we're talking about water. It could be the new weapon of the coming century.
Well, it is. The head of Dow Chemical has said that water is the oil of the 21st century, and this is true. And what this leads to is another problem, which is just like oil. These top owners, this rich, 0.5%, are trying to control all the water. Okay, right now there are like three major corporations, Nestle and Perrier and Donati.
Sure, they're trying to privatize the public water supply.
Exactly, and then because these corporations now run the government. Now the government's coming in and prosecuting people if they try to catch rainwater
on their roof.
Yeah, off their roof, or try to build a dam or a pond. It's get total control over everybody because, hey, if you control the food and the water, you control all the people.
Well, the money doesn't hurt either, Jim. With the Federal Reserve and how they control all that.
Well, I know. That's the beauty of it. Not only do they seek to control every single individual, but they're going to profit from it.
They want it all. Everything, they want it all, and they don't want to give us anything. That's why, Jim, having you on the show, having you write your books, having your voice out there means a lot to the world. And I want to thank you because without guys like you, there would be a whole lot less light in the world.
Well,
now, the population control, man, when did you start on this book, and how did it go when you were writing it?
Well, it was pretty tough because there's just so much out there.
Right.
Everything in this book, and as if you thumb through it, you realize that it's pretty complicated, covers a lot of territory, and is well documented, well sourced, and well indexed, and that's just hitting the mountaintops. That's just skipping.
You could have wrote volumes on just one paragraph.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. For again, just on water, whenever we talk about the scarcity of water and the pollution of water and the radiation in the Pacific and the corrects it that they're still spraying in the Gulf of Mexico, but then it even gets worse because then we find that 70% of the water in most of the major cities, they are now putting sodium fluoride in it.
Melting people's brain.
Just dumbing you right down. And we knew this all the way back to World War II when American chemists went over to Germany at the end of the war and found out that they had been putting small amounts of sodium fluoride in the water of their concentration camps because they had found out that just a little bit of sodium fluoride in the water would keep the inmates passive and non-resistant.
Mercy.
And now they're drugging 70% of the water.
And I see our newest bestest buddy Walmart puts fluoride in the baby drinking water.
Exactly. I couldn't believe it. I was I don't know if it was Walmart, but I was in some store and saw this big, huge line of water, and then these pretty little blue packets and little
to make you look like you're hugging your kid.
You know, and they go, fluoride for babies. Oh, yeah, that's what we need. Because, hey, prior to World War II, sodium fluoride was sold as a rat poison.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's a poison. And we're allowing people, non-medical people, okay? If you go to your doctor and he prescribes some medicine to you and it ends up harming you, and you can show that he did not warn you that this could be harmful, you can sue your doctor and you can get damages. But, hey, now they're medicating your water supply, and it's not even done by medical personnel. It's done by city employees.
Yeah, Pete from down the block's putting it in.
Putting in, or what strength, or or what, and yet everybody has just put up with it.
Jim, I couldn't even get to you about the vaccines, man. I wanted to hit on that. We've got so much to talk about. I'm sorry I got to let you go, man. Thank you so much for being on Business Newsmakers Radio. I really look forward, if you have some time, to come back on the show.
That sounds great. Population control, better get it.
How corporate owners are killing us.